You are now. You're probably not seeing what I want you to see, which is, no, that's good. Um. Anyhow, I am here with Kevin, Teddy. Kevin, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. You?
First time it's just been you and I for a while.
Yes, it has.
I
Yes, it
uh,
is.
I was thinking about that today. I hope this works. Oh shit! What did I do? Oh, that's what I did. Sometimes I don't remember to hit all the buttons. There's a lot of buttons I have to remember to hit, and now I'm kind of running everything off of two screens basically, and so yeah, it's just a big pain in my dick. So the first thing I want to talk about today, and because I won't remember it if I don't bring it up, and it was good enough movie that I want to bring it up so I don't forget. Did
Okay.
you ever watch The Long Shot
Long shot, long shot.
with
That's the hockey with
no.
Scott. Long shot. Oh wait, no, that's the Hugh Jackman. No.
Oh yeah, you're like way off. I'm gonna take this as a hard no.
Anyway, so yeah, you fire away.
Anyways, it's got Seth Rogen in it and Charlize Theron.
I got it on my list. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to.
So I watched it, and the reason I was wondering if you'd seen it is because I was actually the whole reason I never saw it at the theaters because I'm a big Seth Rogen fan,
Yeah.
and the whole reason I didn't see it in the theater was because it was a bad preview. Like the preview just made it look cornier than I really wanted to watch. To be
Yeah.
completely full disclosure, and so it came up on iTunes, and it's like, well, I kind of wanted to see it. Now, I don't have to go to the theater, and it's just essentially free at this point.
hmm
And it ended up being a goddamn good movie. It was like the perfect combination of like kind of sentimental slash fun comedy, and it wasn't like the what's it called? The preview made it look super like over the top, like this would never happen, kind of ridiculous. But then when you watch it, they actually did a really nice job putting the story together. And so I saw it, and I was like, I think Kevin would like this movie. And I was wondering if you'd watched it because, like, I'm telling you, like, the preview, I think when it turns you off, too. Like, it turned me off.
I wanted to see it, but it was one of those. I had other stuff at the theater I wanted to see because it
Yeah.
was starting to get to the point where I had the slim pickings, when I got to go. And there was a bunch of movies that in a row that got released, and I was like, I don't have enough time to see all these, so it kept getting pushed back. And I've heard from a couple people that they thought it was really good. It had some really funny parts, but yeah, it just kind of got. By the time I got a chance to see it, it was already out of the theater.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on my list of things to watch because it was bad because I think Thursday night, it was between that or the Will Ferrell Holmes and Watson movie or whatever.
I heard that
And I
movie was
started watching.
terrible.
I ended up picking the Will Ferrell because I was like, it's gonna be a stupid funny, and I was in the mood for a stupid funny. I fell asleep like 20 minutes in, and I was like, well, I didn't get to any stupid funny part yet
Yeah,
because I was out.
I heard that movie was absolutely terrible.
Yes, I heard that too, but I was like, I don't know. A lot of people, Will Ferrell, either you like him or you don't, and I really like him. And a lot of people around me don't really like him that much. So I was like, I never listen to what they say anyways.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish that movie.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever see that one. Actually, the one I kind of want to see I'm sorry, I'm like clicking buttons. You know what I kind of want to see that I think I missed the theaters, and it's probably not one maybe you'd like it. I don't know. It's that Mindy Kaling one, the Late Night.
It's called Late Night.
Yeah, it's called Late Night, and essentially she like becomes a writer on like a Tonight Show type gig.
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't
Yeah,
really hear about it.
yeah, it might. I don't know. It's just one of the ones. It's one of those like Kim will tell you that I really have like the viewing tendencies of a 16-year-old girl, and
Yeah,
that
I get
one.
in the moods like that too, so I don't want to hear that.
Oh no, I'm not ashamed of it by any means. Like I like what I like. Like if it catches my attention and I want to watch it, then I'm gonna watch it and love it. I have no problem with that. People can make fun of me all day long. I'm totally okay with it. So outside of prepping, doing baby prep, what else you? Because we haven't been on. I haven't really talked to you that much in a little while. Well, you been?
No.
What have you had going on?
I went. I haven't even went golfing that much this year. I haven't went golfing like the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. I've just been too busy. But I've been trying to squeeze movies in, and I'm trying to think what I saw. Last night we took Winnie to see Lion King. She really wanted to see Lion King.
How was that?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I know it's getting bad reviews, but I mean, I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it. But someone asked me today, they're like, did you like it better than the original? And I'm like, I haven't liked any of the live action ones better than the cartoon. Because I mean, I just grew up on the cartoon.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you make it live action, you change it some, so it's not like bad changes or anything, but it's just, I think the cartoons are better. But no, I thought it was good. I liked it. And the one thing that I kind of thought was, um, I wouldn't say I didn't like it, just didn't mesh well for me was, Beyonce did the voice of Nala, the girl
Yeah.
tiger Simba marries, and I don't know, it just didn't seem. I don't know, like the voice just. I had it pictured one way, and it just seemed like it didn't match up. It's kind of hard to describe, but I mean it was good. It was a computer lion for most of it, so that talked. But I don't know. I just didn't think the voice matched up well.
Yeah, sometimes I think when they do these remakes, they try to over superstar it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Disney, so you're gonna throw. You're one of the very few that's able to throw money on top of money out there to get it. So
Yeah, because it's like they have unlimited amounts of it.
yeah.
Speaking of Disney, this is a random like offshoot. But did you see? I just read something. I was on one of my breaks today. I have to work on Saturdays, which is whatever. I'm thankful to be employed. I'm trying to be more positive. That's like my goal is to be more positive. And so I was on one of my breaks and I read the news when I'm on my breaks, and this lady was complaining because she thinks people who don't have kids should be banned from Disney.
I saw the headline, but I didn't read it because I was cracking up because I was like, that's funny and pretty stupid.
Yeah, it was that's what caught my attention. I thought it was kind of funny. Then I read it, that it just does make her look like a complete insane woman. Basically saying that millennials are just blowing their money, and it's Disney's for kids and for families and all this other bullshit. But it's just a weird world we're getting into now that that's what people are complaining about. Like if you have kids, then you should never go to Disney. It should be banned forever.
It's like that's supposed to be the happiest place on earth, and it's like within the last 3 weeks you've had that now, and then you had that huge family fight.
Oh, the family fight, I'm gonna say it a third time because I can't actually say the words. The family fight was one of the most priceless things I've ever seen, and I really appreciate you guys bringing that to my attention because I told everybody. I told Kim about it. I passed that shit along.
Dude, it was too funny. It was hilarious. I'm just like, it's this like what happened where it got that bad? Because it was bad. Like when you're screaming, I'm ready to go to jail tonight, and you're at Disney, and then you're just hitting every female that walks by. It's just like, I'm gonna fight her, I'm gonna rip her dreads out. You're just attacking everybody. It's just like, and then you're screaming that, and there's kids screaming and crying. Well, there are kids screaming and crying. It's just like, this is crazy. And security, as big, I read a thing where it said that they have, or I can't remember, I think it's like at one time or something, they got hold over 80,000 people inside of Disney. So it's like, there's got to be a crap ton of security. It shouldn't take that long for security to get there, because that was a good like 3-4 minutes of fighting before security got there.
Yeah, it was, and they got like way out of control. And I was surprised that like just normal, and maybe this is just where we are in society, where we don't want to like get involved with other people's shit. But like I was surprised that it got as physical as it did especially with the guy hitting on the girl before anyone jumped in.
You can't do that stuff nowadays though, because you just never. Everyone's so sue happy, and I mean, I understand that like you want to jump in, but it's like you got the two things: people like to sue, and then also, I mean, do you really want like seeing this dude jacking everybody up? And it's like, you might want to be a badass, but do you really want to get your ass beat at Disney? Like, you don't know which way it's gonna go.
Oh no, I don't want to. Like, and I'm sure that's what would happen. I've never been good at physical fights. I've always been good. I can get people so pissed off so easy. It's honestly a great talent. Well, a terrible talent, but a talent that I have. I'm very
Oh,
good
it's
at
a
it.
great talent. I got it too.
Yeah, I'm very good at it, and I know how to. Once I figure out what that button is, I know how to push it so calmly and without even like bothering myself with it.
Yeah.
That being said, like I just feel like I was still also raised on some level that I would step in, or at least do something, like at least try to get his attention away, start talking shit to him, like something. When that dude started like his like body slamming the girl, like it got out of control fast.
See, we think two different ways because it's like that thought that thought would cross my mind for like 10 seconds, and I'd be like, "Hey, the line of teacups is down. Everyone's watching the fight. Let's go get in line." Because lines at Disney are freaking ridiculous. So, like I said, it would last for a couple seconds, and it'd just be looking around to see what line's short now because everyone's watching the fight. Like, I'll watch this on pay-per-view later.
Yeah, UFC should definitely invest in some Disney fights. That could be some big money. Just families fighting over rides, their place in line. You can't hold a place, motherfucker. Shit gets out of control fast.
It would do.
It'd be awesome. Oh, and you know what else I'm excited about? Same thing I'm sure you're excited about, except for it's going to be a little tougher for you here. Is our favorite time of year's coming around?
Yes, it is.
I
And
cannot
camps going on.
wait. I know. I've been watching all kinds of Brown stuff, obviously. And I'm trying because I really do want to get the North and Inches podcast up and running at some point. I'm actually trying to pay attention to the other teams, which is not easy for me because I just don't care about them.
Yeah, I actually turned it on tonight. So that was the first time I turned on NFL Network in a couple weeks. So I was watching some. Like I've been keeping up with like headlines, so I know the gist of stuff that's been going on, but I haven't been paying too much attention.
Did you see AJ Green went down today?
I saw that, and there was one other guy from the Vikings. I thought I can't remember for sure, but I saw he was just cramping. Like they thought it was more serious, and then I saw like everyone on the Giants is getting hurt, but they suck anyways. They have one bright spot, and if Barkley goes down, the Giants are going to suck even worse than they're going to suck already.
Oh no, they're going to be bad. They're going to be
Oh, I
bad.
know.
No matter
But
who
I mean,
starts
if
it.
he goes down, it's like between 2 wins and seven. I could see them winning 6-7 games. But if Barkley goes down, they're looking at like 2-3 wins, if that.
Yeah, and no matter who's quarterbacking that team, they're going to be bad, and they just need to own it that they're going to have a high draft pick next year, and hopefully all these trades paid off with Cleveland. But yeah, I was wondering about the guy, and I know this is going to sound like I'm just being a bitchy Cleveland Browns fan, and
So normal.
yeah, fair. But the wide receiver, whose name is now slipping my mind, the guy Cleveland cut on Hard Knocks last year. Coleman, yeah. I don't know why I wanted to say something else. I knew it was C, but my mind, I almost wanted to call him Callaway. My mind's just not here today. I think it's because I've had like a gallon and a half of water, and I've just pissed out any like thought process I had. No, so when he got hurt, my first thought was, first off, like I don't want anyone to get hurt. I know people seem to think I throw the injury like thing out there a lot, but I don't want him to get hurt. But if you look at his issues he's had with getting injured and his attitude, do you think you're like just in general, like not even football players, but like in general, people's attitudes can affect like their body's ability to stay healthy?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like I could go with that because I mean, if you don't want to be there, stuff's gonna happen. You're not paying attention, you're not putting the full go into it. So I can see you being lazy and then injuries happening.
Yeah, that's like the first thing I thought of with him. And it's because he does I've never seen him with a good attitude. The guy's always been a complainer.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like they had him listed as the number 2. Like, I mean, he might be a number 3, a number 4 at best. And if you have him as your number 1, which Cleveland did, and we saw how that was, that's not good. I mean, that just says how bad your receiving core is. And then if you have him as a number 2, I mean, you're still in the same spot, but at least, he's not your main guy.
The thing is, I think he's a talented guy. I just think he's I don't know, for whatever reason, he just feels like he deserves something. Like he's very entitled.
Yeah, I can see that. Because I saw him, quite a bit. Because here we get a lot of Browns games, so I got stuck watching them a lot, and it was just like, even when I watched them in college, because West Virginia plays the Big 12, so they play Baylor every year. So I saw him at least once, and I'd see him a handful of times throughout the year because I just catch highlights. And I mean, I never thought he was anything great. Like first round pick, I thought was pushing it, but I mean, at that time, it was a Cleveland first round pick because they picked a lot of bad first round picks. So I mean, I don't know. I always thought he was a little bit overrated, but that didn't last that long because then you just saw how bad he was.
Yeah, like I wouldn't disagree with you that Cleveland's picked a lot of bad first round picks, but I can't. I'm trying to grow as a Browns fan as well. There's some things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to lose some weight before I go out to the Build the World, Build the Bridges tour. Trying to have a better attitude because I watched a Netflix documentary about social media that made me want to try to be a little more positive. And I already forgot it. What did you just say? I was lost.
Oh,
Oh yeah, my realism for the Browns.
Because
yeah,
bad players.
So I'm trying to be realistic in the fact that Cleveland absolutely 100% with all the personalities they have in the room can be a complete and utter shit show this year. It could implode and it could do, and most likely if we follow the last 20 years of Cleveland Browns football, it probably will implode. Like I'm trying to own that. Mm-hmm. But until I start actually seeing that happen, I'm still balls to the wall like this team's going to win 11 games because the talent's just too good. And
I agree with you.
And I'm hoping, and it's hard because I know that I'm the over-optimistic Browns fan in the country. I'm hoping that for once I'm right and they finally have righted the ship. They have the right people in places in leadership for that implosion not to happen. And if shit goes south, starts to go south, they make the changes that need to be made to avoid that. But I'm realistic. I know that there's a very high chance in Cleveland shit's going to go south bad, and it's going to be rough.
I think the one big thing they have good for them is they got Dorsey, because they haven't had a good GM through this whole shit show. They've had guys that outside of Holmgren, but I don't think they really gave him a shot when he was there. And he really wasn't he wasn't a bad GM because he was one of those coach GM deals at the time where that was the way to go. So I thought that was, their best outside of Dorsey. He was their only other person I'd say that they had that was a good GM. But I think the big factor is going to be Kitchens. How's he going to handle this whole head case going on? Because I mean that's what it is as of now, because you got so many different attitudes and Odell and all that stuff, so it's how does he handle it? Because if he handles it right, you shouldn't have a problem. I mean, you might still have, it might not click on the field and that might make it go downhill, but if he's got it under control going to the field, I think that's at least you're taking a step in the right direction. And if you're not putting up the wins, anything could happen, outside of that. But if you got it controlled from the get-go, if it goes downhill, it's not on him. He did his part of keeping it right. Because if you just can't win, then, I mean, you can't win.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I think Dorsey's good. I honestly think Kitchens is going to be okay. I think people are underestimating his level-headedness and his ability to keep calm. But I also think the key to it is the fact that people aren't giving Baker enough credit for being a legit leader. I get he's got some swagger. I get that he could maybe drop the elephant trunk a little too much in public. Shouldn't be happening. But at the end of the day, when he gets out of a huddle, every one of those guys would follow him to the fucking grave.
Yeah.
And I think he's level-headed enough as a leader to keep most of them in line. I mean, you have wide receivers are going to be wide receivers. They're going to be I didn't get enough catches. I just expect that with every decent wide receiver in the league, including the one you got there in Pittsburgh. Juju, now that Brown's going, Juju's gonna come out and be like start to be that diva because now he can be.
I don't know. Not everyone's like that though.
Everyone that's good is.
I mean, Hopkins isn't really like a diva. And I
Even
mean,
Jerry Rice talks shit, dude.
yeah, but talking shit. I mean, there's two different. That's I don't know. I don't. It just depends how you do it, because it's like, but because you can talk shit because you're good, but when you make every single thing about you, if you're like, and that was the thing about Brown. I like Brown. I still do. I mean, he's a head case. He's a true diva, number one receiver, but he got to the point where you can definitely tell he was more about him than the team. And as of now, Juju's all about the team and he's all about Pittsburgh. So, I mean, if that starts changing, then yeah, it's going to be bad. But
I think when you're the number one wide receiver, and if you're an elite number one wide receiver, just from my life of watching football, you have some of that diva. You want the ball every time. You think that you didn't get thrown to enough every game. You were always open. And if you're not like that, you're not one of the elite guys in the league. And I just think of like guys like Michael Irvin, T.O., A.J. Green, Ocho Cinco. Like, just go down the list of guys in our lifetime that were supreme.
You never really hear much about. Like, he doesn't really, at least I haven't. I wouldn't put A.J. Green with that because he's just not a head case or distraction like Odell, Chad Ochocinco, Antonio Brown. I mean, he's always hurt, so I mean, maybe that's what's taken away from him being that distraction. He's not out there to be like that. Because if you're on crutches and you haven't played for 90% of the season, then it's kind of hard to be saying too much crap.
Yeah, that's another team, by the way, that can't afford to lose. A good key part of their team is Cincinnati. If he's legitimately hurt bad, because I know they carted him off.
Yeah,
that
I heard sprained ankle is what they're reporting as of now.
Yeah, we'll see how it comes. I have no faith that's actually full disclosure yet.
Oh yeah, it's still early. It's preseason. There's real no reason to tell too much as of yet.
Yeah,
because you still got a week before, 2 weeks before games. Because I mean, you got the Hall of Fame game, but that's the only game next weekend. So you got 2 weeks until the whole slate of preseason starts.
Yeah, and what is it like? Is August 1st the first official preseason game? I know it's the Hall of Fame game, and then a week after that, right? The rest of the games start.
Yeah, so you'll have one game next weekend. The Hall of Fame on Thursday. You'll have the Hall of Fame ceremony on Saturday, and then the following Thursday is when you get the rest of the games to start.
But the game's on Thursday, right? And then the induction's on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's awesome. I'm ready. I'm stoked. I'm so ready for some football. I know that the XFL started giving their team some names, but I'm treading lightly on spring football after the AAF broke my soul.
I was about to say, I haven't even heard of any of the names. I knew they were supposed to start releasing the names the other day, but I haven't even checked or anything like that. I've been reading things where they're keeping an eye on certain backup positions of quarterbacks they think are going to get cut, and because they want them to come in. Because I already saw that Landry Jones was in there for a workout for the XFL, and I know they're looking at Seattle because they have Geno Smith and the former Bronco Paxton Lynch. So they're keeping an eye to see which one of them doesn't make it on the team, because whoever doesn't, they're going to get an invite for the XFL.
No, and it's nice because those guys, if they get that prime quarterback money, they can make like $250,000 a year, which isn't NFL money, but compared to what the AAF was paying,
and compared to not playing in the NFL, not getting any money at all. So, yeah, $250 is a lot better than bagging groceries or whatever the hell you're going to do, selling cars or some crap.
Yeah, and I've only heard one team name, and that's because Eric, because I've been recording his show for him.
Yeah,
he had a guy who actually is this guy Mark who came on my podcast for the Stallions because he was a Hot Shots fan, and
Okay.
he's a good guy, but he's also a big Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Okay, I
And
remember which one you're talking about.
yeah, so he said that the Tampa team name is the Tampa Tornadoes. I don't love or hate it. I'm like I'm like it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things like leagues need to do. These is like they need to stop having like minor league baseball names.
Hey, speaking of minor league baseball, I don't want to change it off of football, but
Oh,
you
it's
just made
fine.
me think. I can't
Let's go
remember
wherever
if
you
I
want.
tagged
I
you.
don't care.
I can't remember if I tagged you in it or I just shared it. But there's a minor league baseball team. It's down south. It's like Alabama, Mississippi, one of those. They're having a millennial night. I guess a lot of millennials were pissed off
Oh yeah, with the nap
because
time.
they're having nap time, avocado burgers, and they're giving out participation ribbons at the game.
Oh, I think it's fucking brilliant.
I think it's hilarious, but they're all upset, and it's like, well, that's what you are.
Yeah, it really just really buys right back into what they are.
Yeah.
I thought
So
it was, I like the participation ribbons. I thought that was a real nice touch.
yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
But what's fun? The only thing that would have made it funny is if they would have put on there like time for complaints or something, or something along that line, because there's going to be a lot of people whining about it.
Oh no,
And that's
they have to have a safe space.
That would be funny. Third base side is the safe space.
I'm such a terrible human.
But the only, like I said, that just popped in my head because he's a millennial. But oh, what was that I was gonna say? Did you see like Antonio Brown showed up in a hot air balloon, and then Jalen Ramsey showed up in the armored truck?
So I didn't see the balloon. I didn't see it, and it doesn't really like excite me.
Yeah.
But the armored truck I think is hilarious.
It is, but here's my thing. Like, I know why he did it, because obviously he wants to get paid because they were throwing money out. But my whole thing was the way he is. Like, there's so many jokes from that. It's like he came in an armored truck because he's afraid of getting hurt. He came in an armored truck to protect his ego because of that slam piece he did on all the quarterbacks, and then they sucked last year. So all those quarterbacks he said that were not good, except for his quarterback who got cut and benched because he did so bad. It's just like there's so many jokes you can go with that because it's like, yeah, obviously why he did it, but it's like outside of that, it's just like there's just so many jokes you can make about it.
Oh yeah, no, like it never like. Here's the thing: those things, like they're great ideas, and for some of us, they're pretty entertaining, but they never go well.
No.
Like there's never like a time where you're like, yeah, this was a genius thing I did.
And then and then I was reading at training camp for the Steelers when they had their interviews or whatever, they asked Juju why he didn't do something like that. Why he just showed up to practice. And he sat there and he was like, I don't need a hot air balloon or an armored truck or a helicopter. And he named a couple other, and a lot of them were Antonio Brown's things. He's like, I'm coming to work. He's like, I just show up and do my job.
See, that's no fun. I want a guy who's like gonna poke a little.
But see, well, he did because he named all the stuff Antonio Brown did, and he threw the Jalen Ramsey thing in there. So, I mean, outside of that, I mean, he called it out for that. But, he's doing everything the right way as of now. He's showing up. He's doing his thing. He does a lot of stuff in the community. There's been a lot of reports that, like, he does a lot of charity and give back in Pittsburgh. But there's videos of him walking through a mall in Pittsburgh, and there were some kids throwing a football, and he stopped and started playing football with them in the middle of the mall. Like, if you're from Pittsburgh, more than likely you're a Steelers fan, and if you're just throwing a ball around, then all of a sudden Juju joins your little game inside the mall. You know how cool that is? This, be a part of that, for that to happen to you.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's awesome. You're right. I think he's doing a lot of the good things right. Let's give it some time though. Like, let's let that set in that he's the number one. And no one's going to take that job from him, at least this year. And let's see what happens. That's what I'm interested in.
All the stuff I've read so far, like everything, even his first 2 years, players, the stuff that has came out, he's doing all the right stuff. And there was a lot of stories about like when Brown was early on and the Steelers passed on re-signing Mike Wallace and they gave all that money to Antonio Brown the first time, that they were even saying there was stuff coming out then that they thought that it wasn't going to go well, that he was all about the money and all about himself, and just the way he carried himself at practice, like the writing was always on the wall for Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And this what was going to happen.
I think for me, I don't know. Pittsburgh's so interesting because it's almost like they're kind of like rebooting, but with this is gonna sound weird because I know they have guys. The guys have been there, but really not really. Like it kind of is a reboot year in a way for Pittsburgh, and it should be a little less stressful because they're not going to have the hassle of what's going on with Le'Veon. Okay, what's going on with Brown? So it should be a little less stressful for them. But it does feel like they're kind of rebooting. I mean, not as bad as the Bengals, who are definitely going to be the worst team in the division. Watch those sons of bitches win the division. I look like a real idiot.
That would be bad because we'd both be like so wrong. Because like I agree with you, I can see where it looks like that. But I mean, the Steelers have reloaded, and that's the thing. Is like, are they just going to reload because they're really good? They've been good at that in the past, where you don't skip a beat, you lose people, you bring other people in, you're fine. But it's like, if they can just pull off a reload, okay. If it's a reboot, which it's a possibility, I mean, you don't know. But that's the thing, because it's like, as of now, like I keep saying, I'm sticking to my thing. I think the Browns and Steelers are going to be 1-2. How it ends up, not sure. But obviously, I'm going to go more with the Steelers because of their history and with the Browns' history. But, obviously, it looks different for both of them. So it could go either way. But as of now, from past years, it's like I'm sticking with the Steelers they'll win. Browns will come in second. And I still, even if the Browns don't live up to full expectations, I still see them winning at least 8 games. If it's a bad year, I see them winning 8 games.
My thing is,
if they work it out, I could see 9, 10, even 11's possible. But I see 9, 10 is the area I'm giving for the Browns.
Yeah, I think 10's legitimate. I think 10's honestly the number I probably more realistically lean toward. But for right now, I'm still living at 5 in that shit. My thing is, it's like I tell Mark, because he was on Eric's podcast, and I try to just stay out of Eric's podcast and just record it because I don't fit the tone of his show at all. And he doesn't like it because I go off. I never stay on like topic or like I just go. I go all over the place, and he can't handle it. So I try to just record for him, which is good for me because it gives me some practice. But anyway, so him and Mark were talking about the Browns, and I literally was just like going nuts in the background. And I was typing messages to him in the comment thing and just going crazy. And so afterwards, though, I had a few minutes to talk to Mark. And my thing was, the way I laid it out to him was, I think if you didn't add anyone to Cleveland's roster, you kept it exactly the same, especially on offense, I would have still thought this was a 10-win team. Because I think guys like Rashard Higgins and Callaway are legit threats in this league as starters. I think, especially and I think Njoku's going to have a breakout year. But I'm also I did also tell him, like I told you, I'm a Browns fan and I realize that the football gods hate us, and there's a solid chance this shit blows up right in our face. And OBJ's going nuts in week 2 because he didn't get enough passes thrown his way, and that throws Landry off, and it just goes south way fast.
Yeah.
But I thought before you added any one of these people, they were a 10-win team. Chubbs is legit. I think he's legit.
Oh, yeah.
I just think offensively they were going to be too powerful to outscore every week.
Yeah, I could definitely see them being, with that offense, if it's clicking, I mean, they could easily be a Ram. Well,
if that offense is clicking, Rams, Kevin.
Either Rams, last year's Rams, or the greatest show on turf, because it's they had a good defense, but the defense never showed up. You were expecting a 45-41 game every week.
Yeah. If that team is clicking, watch out. Because I'm telling you, they're going to be scary if they get on fire. And the rest of the league should be praying to baby Jesus that they do implode, because especially if you get Kareem Hunt back healthy, like you can't. Who do? You can't double any of those wide receivers. And now if you got Chubb and Hunt, you can put them both in the backfield at the same time somehow. Dude, it's scary. Like, it might not always work. Like, the NFL's a funny thing where you still have to, like, execute the plays. But the potential is there to be legitimately scary for other teams to have to play that.
Yeah.
And that's
I completely agree.
I'm praying to baby Jesus they blow the Jets out. Because I feel like I could never go to a Browns game and see a win. Except for, last year I guess I did see him win in Denver. But usually, like, every time we've been to Pittsburgh, obviously we've lost. It kind of sucks dick. The last time I went with my brother to the Jets game, we lost. I want them just to blow them out. Like, I just want to be at a game where my team just blows the other team out of the water. Like, Le'Veon Bell gets shut down. I don't have faith in their quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's like some supreme guy.
Darnold?
Yeah.
I don't think he's that great. I think he's definitely overrated.
I think he's got a shit attitude.
Oh, yeah. He was highly overrated coming out of college, in my opinion.
But he did all right last year. Like, I want to give him the credit he deserves. He
had his
a good rookie year.
Yeah. This year is going to be a big determining factor. Let's see how he does. And he's got a good running back now. Well,
we'll see. He hasn't ran in a year.
Yeah. Hey, he was running from the strip clubs. So they were like, I think you're my baby's daddy.
So, hey, I wanted to run this idea by you. I don't know if anyone will even do it, but what I was thinking I want to do with these building bridges tours?
What?
I thought about, wouldn't it be cool? Because you know how, like, when, like, sometimes players, like, switch jerseys?
Yeah.
Right? Do, like, a jersey exchange? I want to see if I can get someone to do a jersey exchange with me. I don't know if they will. It may fail. It's like 99% chance it's going to fail. But I think if I go to a game this year, the games I go to, I want to try to do a jersey exchange. And like do like the whole thing where you're taking off the jersey and you're both holding it up and we get some photos, which would be good.
You're talking about with the fan.
Oh yeah, no, not the player.
I was like, I was like, I don't know what player you're gonna get to give you your jersey, but it'd be interesting. I could see that being possible.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone will do it because I know how tightly people hold on to their memorabilia.
Yeah,
I want to do it. Like, I want to find someone who will be like, "Oh, I think this is the greatest idea ever," and we both like sign our names on the jerseys, and then I could hang that shit. And if I could get people to do it to any game I go to, that could start to be like a fun little thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. That would be interesting. I could just see, like, the first person you ask, like, I could just see the look on their face, like, wait, you want me to give you my jersey?
Oh yeah, I think this is a lot like selling door to door, or like asking like girls way out of your league out. You're probably gonna get 100 fuck offs before you get a yes or even a maybe.
Yeah, because it's a 50-50 shot, so you never know.
But it's like same thing with asking the girl out. You don't know if you don't ask.
Yeah, but I would just look for the really drunk guy.
Oh yeah, I have this, like, I want to do this. I don't know if my brother's gonna love that I do this because I don't know that he has the. I think I embarrass him. But I feel like it would just be a fun little thing to add to the trip if I could get people to do jersey swaps with me. And just maybe put like the date of the game or something. I'm going to bring a Sharpie and we just whatever. I'll figure that out. But I don't know. You think that's a completely ridiculous idea?
No, it's interesting. It might not work, but if you actually want to do it and you're willing to give up one of your jerseys, then yeah, it'd be something different to try.
My theory is you buy the jerseys from Japan, the knockoffs, right? You're not buying like a good one. You're spending $40 or $50 on a jersey, not like $150.
Yeah, that make it somewhat. As long as you got a crappy jersey,
and you're still getting a jersey back. You may not wear it. Like, I don't want to wear it.
Yeah, I'll say you're never gonna walk around wearing a Jets jersey or a Steelers jersey.
Maybe that's the deal. Maybe I make a bet with somebody. Maybe that's what it comes down to. Like, I try the whole time before the game to get this trade done, and it doesn't happen. And then I always get talking with the people around me.
Yeah.
Maybe I start like shooting the shit with those people, and I'm like, all right, here's the deal, because you're so excited, you think Jets are going to win so hard. If the Jets lose, you have to do a jersey swap with me.
Yeah, but how are you gonna make,
Yeah, I
unless
can't
you're
make them. I just hope
by-
that
Yeah,
people.
but I mean, if you're unless you're not sitting by him, what's the chance? What are you gonna do? Meet me at this light post?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I wait till I get in my seat,
Yeah.
and I start shooting this shit with those people because it always happens.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to try this. My brother's probably going to hate me for it, or he'll think it's hilarious. It's a
And
coin
if you
flip.
get it to work, I mean, it would be something cool because then that's another story you'll have from that game because they'll be like, why do you have a Jets jersey in the background?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, Joe in section 512.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could have like a whole section whenever we do get our own house again on my wall of just like building, and it could literally put like above it like the building bridges tours, and just have jerseys that we've gotten from the locations.
Sorry. Yeah, that would.
Oh no,
Like
don't
said,
part. I feel you.
It's an interesting. It's an idea. It's. I don't think it's a horrible idea. I'm not gonna tell you that's just stupid or anything, but no, it would definitely be cool if it worked out.
I'm going in planning to fail.
Yeah, that makes it better because then if you do succeed, then it's like, hey.
Oh, then I just won the
you
fucking
weren't
Super
expecting-
Bowl.
Yeah.
You'll see that Twitter post. I'll be all pumped up.
Yeah. You're like, I'm taking jerseys. You're just running away. You got like 5 jerseys. You just start throwing people on the ground and like hockey. You're ripping their jerseys off. You're like, I told you I was gonna get your goddamn jersey.
That's drunk, Matt. That could never go good.
It's like, hey, how'd your jersey swap go? And it's like, I got 6.
Wow, that's pretty good. And I got court next week. Got a pre-trial hearing. Hey, what's up, Brian? Brian watching us live on Twitter. Yeah, no, I'm gonna try it. Jersey swap. And then if that thing works, it's gonna be like a forever thing. Every time I go to Pittsburgh, wherever I go, I really like, and this is why I'm hoping to actually get employed, or like start finding some side cash, because I really want to go to the Denver game so bad on November 3rd.
I'm about to say, yeah, they're out in Denver again, right?
Yeah, November 3rd, and I want to go extremely bad, but it's not realistic with my financial situation. It's actually very unrealistic.
Yeah.
But that being said, if they start if I don't get fired, which I'm assuming I'm getting fired in the next few days, I feel like that's coming.
I'll say, why do you say that?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you ever met me, Kevin, but I tend to have a mouth on me.
I've worked with you.
And like the whole time I've worked at this place, like literally from like the second or third day, I've made it very clear I thought they had the worst training program ever. And they do not value employees. Like employees are the most disposable item in the world.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense because in this particular job I have, you would think you'd want people around who have like experience dealing with the issues, but they don't care. They'll just, flutter through people at an amazing pace. Anyways, I got this thing called a final warning the other day because I didn't basically ask somebody enough security questions because, well, the document I was taught off of didn't tell me to do that because, the training sucks.
Yeah.
But I'll own it. Like I should, whatever. If they say I should have, then I should have. No big deal. But anyway, so I did it again. Technically before they gave me the final warning, but it doesn't matter. This is another great thing about this place. So if you get a final warning for like a call you took, say, a month ago.
Yeah.
And I get that, and I just get that today, right? That final warning saying, all right, moving forward, if you get another one of these, your ass could be gone. Most likely going to be gone. No, they're like, even if we go back and look at a call that was before you got your final warning and you did it again, you're out. And that's what they got me for. They got me for another call before I got my final warning that I did the same thing. And I told them, here's the thing. I told them, I ratted myself out. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm fucking this up all day long because there's nowhere telling me the specific way, what exactly in this situation I'm supposed to do. and they don't care because employees are the most like. I'm telling you, dude, we're disposable human beings. I've never worked in a place like this before in my entire life. It is scary. So I'm pretty sure I'm getting fired. That's really the whole point of that story.
I'll say that's not good.
But if I don't get fired and they open up overtime, I could work. Like, the job's not hard. It's easy. It's boring as all F. But when things are slow, but it's not hard. So I could work a mad amount of overtime and help pay some debt and hopefully go to this Broncos game. I really want to go there because we can drive. It's not even like we have to fly. It's not even a big deal.
Yeah, because you guys drove last year, right?
Yeah, it's only a 7-hour drive. We spend the night, maybe 2, have a little fun, like, because that'll be right after our anniversary. So maybe we make it our anniversary trip. Because what woman doesn't want to go to a Browns game to celebrate her anniversary? None I can think of. And we spend a couple of nights, and then we come back. It's quick, it's a quick drive. 7 hours to us is nothing. Like, I don't mind it at all. Like, one time we drove out there, we just listened to Hamilton the whole time.
Yeah, as long as that worked. I mean, if I saw the play, it'd be different for me.
Oh, dude, I loved it. That's what made me want to go see the play.
I'm about to say, I want to see it, so
highly.
I just didn't have money when it came around.
Highly recommend it.
And I won't have money when it comes around next year. If it comes back around next year.
You never know. Maybe you're gonna hit the lottery. Maybe
but I gotta play it first.
Maybe one of y'all are gonna get like a raise or like a different job is gonna pay like mad money, and you're gonna be like just throwing bills out the window because you're bored with it.
But the bad thing is if like that would happen where I'd have that kind of money to spend, it would definitely be a Steelers game because I haven't went to a Steelers game in a couple of years. Well, the last one I went to that Patriots game.
Oh yeah, I know. You traded me for the Patriots. I got it. Oh, I got to see Tom Brady. Guy's gonna be around for 50 fucking years.
Well, yeah, now, but and it sucked because Ben was hurt, so I got to watch Landry Jones against Tom Brady. I was like, yay! That was just like the same thing. It's just opposite when I went and saw Broncos because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see Peyton Manning. This is gonna be his last year. And he had sand in his vagina, so I got to see Brock Osweiler against Big Ben, and I'm like, seriously. But I mean, it was a good game because Steelers came back and beat him because Osweiler's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Is Osweiler even in the league anymore?
He was a backup in Miami, I thought, last year. So I don't know if he's still with Miami or what.
Yeah, he should be gone. Oh, by the way, that's what I'll tell you about my social media. I've decided that I'm not going to share any more political posts on social media because I watched this movie called The Great Hack or The Internet Hack. I think it's The Great Hack. It's on Netflix. Really good. But basically it's just about like the Cambridge Analytics and Facebook and all that. And I've decided that I want to have conversations about everything people are posted. So I got to find a way to make it okay to still have comments and interact with those people, but I refuse to share that stuff anymore because it's just all divisive, and it's like the opposite of what I really want to do. So
I can see that. That's why I try to avoid it because I have one way of looking at things. Well, I have my way of looking at things. So it's like obviously because it's just like anything. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. So it's like I see stuff and I'm like, and it's like I want to post, but then I'm like, don't know who from that I'm friends with is going to see it and what they're going to say because it can just snowball so quick, and you're just like, well, that got a lot worse than I thought it was going to get. So.
And the problem is that's the thing is like for me my whole point of ever sharing that stuff was always like I love the conversation. Like if you see like I know you think Trump's doing like a phenomenal job.
I don't think he's doing a phenomenal job.
Well, let's just say you think he's doing a better job than I think he's doing.
Well, yeah, so that's definitely it.
But like those are the conversations. Like I want to have those. I want to have conversations with people who are in the complete opposite. Because it's really not fun for me to sit here and have conversations with people who agree with everything I'm talking about, or everything I think is true.
Yeah,
which I'm sure
you want to figure out why you think that.
Exactly.
Why I think this.
And so my whole thing for ever sharing those was I wanted to spark conversation, but then I kind of saw this before watching that documentary. Really, the documentary just cemented it. like a lot of that shit is like propagated by like some of these like other people who don't even give a shit. They're just trying to get you to vote one way or the other.
Yeah.
But then secondly, like it never really started the conversations. It just got people saying, "Well, you're a fucking idiot." Well, calling me a fucking idiot is 99% of the time it's legitimate. That's okay. That's fair. Oh God, here's James with his Trump 2020. That took longer than I anticipated, James.
Because I know that was like last week when I was asking you about doing a show, you had a post that you did, and I was like, dude, I can't wait to talk to you about it, because I'm just like, I wanted to post so bad, but I'm like, it could go so bad. So I was like,
you're not going to hurt my feelings. Like
I'm not worried about hurting your feelings. I just don't know who. Like I said, my big thing is I don't know who from your side's going to see it and jump in, and I don't know what idiots that I'm friends with is going to jump in, because it's like I see all the stuff that everyone's posting, and like I said, there's so much stuff where it's just like I want to ask questions, but people can't take that nowadays. You know, you got to watch what you say, because if you say something like crap, I could say hi to somebody and they're like, oh well, he closed his eyes, so he's racist. Like that's the big thing nowadays, everybody's racist, and I'm just like, yeah, not everybody's racist. You know, everyone's probably got a little bit of like racist stuff to them, but it's more of like a stereotype thing than racist stuff. And it's like, so you got that, and then every time you turn around, someone's inventing new words, and usually it starts with white and then whatever, because white people are just so horrible, and it's just like I can't take it no more. It's like it's just so crazy.
No, I totally, I don't want to agree with you, but I totally agree with you. Why isn't that?
So since we're on this now,
yeah, go ahead. Like you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm guessing it's the one I posted, but I'll let you go ahead and tell me.
All right, because I gotta ask, because I was like, I asked Miranda, and I'm like looking at her, and I was like, seriously? All right, you posted, you shared.
I shared because I definitely didn't post it.
Yeah, you shared this thing, and it says, if you see ICE in your neighborhood this weekend, keep in mind we are now at the point where what you would have done if the Nazis came for your neighbors is no longer an abstract thought exercise. I
think in a way, yes. I'll support it with this. Here's why. Because ICE, let's just say I'm not reading anything on Facebook. I'm just going and watching like people videotaping on their phones shit that's going down. Like they're not even like so much like basically if you look Hispanic or Mexican or whatever, then you're just assumed like that you need to show your papers that you're not, that you're from here. So it's not like, oh, we have this thing for, Jorge and whatever. If you think that's me being racist, fuck off. It's not. That's just the name I thought of. But what I'm saying is like it's not like they have like, oh, this is Jorge Gonzalez. We're looking for this dude, right? And this is him. He is here illegally. We got to go through the process. I don't love it I don't love it, but I get it. Technically, there's a violation there. You got to handle it, right? Mm-hmm. My problem is we're to the point now where it's like, and it's not even just ICE. It's like, honestly, it's like gas station attendants, fucking people at the mall. Like, if you're Hispanic, it's just assumed that you're illegal. And now you've got to prove that you're from here before anything starts. Like that's where that's where it's getting to. Like it starts at like before anything you have to prove you belong here. And I just personally think that's fucked up. Because none of us not none of us, the majority of us aren't from here. Or you know what I'm saying? And the fact that like the whole point of being American is that unless they have reasonable suspicion that you committed a crime that they can articulate to you, you should be able to walk these streets back and forth and tell everybody to fuck off. And it's like, it's not getting that. Like we're getting very to the point where we're like segregating, almost going back to a segregation type situation. And it's very much like, I'm telling you, dude, we do it all the time. Like, you go back all the way to Pearl Harbor. What do we do? Internment camp for the Japanese people. You look at the buildings hitting 9/11, like the 9/11. All of a sudden, like, all people who are Islamic are, like, they're automatically bombers. And they might have been here their whole fucking life. Like, that's just, like, I don't know how we got to this mentality. And I know I'm being long-winded and I apologize. But I just don't know how we got to this mentality where, like, you have to prove you belong here before like we ever start like any other conversation. instead of defending the part where like you can walk these things without being the streets and move about your way without being bothered. Ah, fuck James, keep America great forever. Fuck Trump. Sorry, I do not like that guy. I mean, I love James. James is my boy. Trump, I just can't. And that's the thing is he's so divisive. Like he's not like a say what you want about Obama, but I just feel like guys like even a guy who I didn't love. The second oh my god. See
Bush.
yeah, the second Bush. I didn't like him. I like that he had a backbone. It's one of the things I actually valued in him. I didn't always agree with him, but at least like he didn't like back down from it. He said, "This is where I'm going. Like it or love it, this is happening," and he just went through with it. But even him, like it seemed like his goal was to try to bring us together, or at least have some communication, which is what I love. I love community. If you haven't noticed, people, there's a reason why I do podcasts. There's a reason why I'm doing my YouTube thing for my weight. Like I love communicating with people. I love being involved with people. And like we've gotten off this whole like there is no communicating. It's like you're wrong, I'm right, fuck you. Everything you say is wrong at that point because we're on different sides. And I just think it's fucking stupid and drives me nuts. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I know it's a long-winded answer, and I apologize, but like I just hate that people can't have conversations anymore.
No, that's fine. That's why I wanted to hear your reason. Because what's funny was like you're explaining your answer, and that even wasn't why I was like I wanted to talk about that. So okay. I mean, but that was good because I mean I know how you feel about it. Because the thing that I wanted, like I said not too long ago about like everything. If you don't agree with one side, you're racist, and it goes both ways. But that's like the excuse, and it's like, I mean, it's so bad that they're calling Jewish people Nazis. Like you just think. It's like, think about what you're saying here. You know, it's like, do you really think a Jewish person is a Nazi?
Well, yeah, no, that
Especially
I give you. Like
they tried to wipe them off the face of the earth. But that was my thing, because it's like comparing that to the Nazis. It's like you are comparing one of, if not the world's like worst tragedy to law enforcement going after people that are breaking the law. Because that's what ICE is. You're breaking the law.
But they're not just going after those people, Kevin. And that's where my problem is.
But that's the thing. Because, I mean, how do you know unless you find out who they are? So it's like, I understand what you're saying. And I agree with it. They're probably excessively doing it. Completely agree with that. But it's like, unless you ask that person to show your stuff, I mean, how are you going to do it? I mean, because obviously you're ICE, so you're illegal. So you're looking for a certain type of people. Completely understand. I mean, it's not good. But, I mean, you're not just going to walk up to a white person, you know, because, I mean, I know it sounds bad.
It sounds terrible, but it's exactly how the world's going.
It is. But, I mean, it's just like the whole, like when New York started the whole stop and frisk thing. Yes, that was definitely aimed at black people. It's bad, but that's the way, like, the law stuff happens. So, of course, when you're looking for people coming from Mexico illegally, you're going to look for someone with a tan.
I don't need to, but you don't need to assume. I'm sorry, I interrupt you. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, I'm sorry. That's where I was kind of stopping.
No, I just don't think you need to suspect that every single person who's brown is an illegal, and they need to prove that they're not before you let them go about their business. Yeah, and that's my problem is we are racially profiling people.
Yeah,
to the sense that they have to prove that they're citizens, and it sucks because you and I will never understand what any other race goes through in this situation, because they will never be like, dude, you're white, I need to see your papers, make sure you belong here. That's just a problem we won't have. And so it's kind of hard honestly for me to have a legit opinion. I see where you're coming from, and I actually like that we actually found a little bit of a middle ground. You're agreeing that maybe they're attacking it a little aggressively.
Yeah, and that's how everything is. And that's the bad thing, because as soon as there's that one little thing that happens that you can sit there and use to your advantage, obviously, depending on what side you are, if it happened against your side, you take it and you run with it. And a perfect example of that is, I don't know if you heard about Georgia. I think it was a state legislator in Georgia, a black lady. She was at a grocery store, and she she went to the express lane, 10 items or less. Well, obviously she had a lot more items than the 10 items. She had like 20, 25, whatever. The number keeps changing. But she did this video after the grocery store where she's bawling and she's saying how she was in line and this white guy just came up to her and started yelling at her and told her to go back where she came from, and her daughter was with her and how she's pregnant, and she went to that line because she can't stand very long, and her daughter's like, why is he saying that to you, mommy? Why is he so mean? Horrible story. Well, then the real story comes out, and you find out that the guy, he just flat out, when he heard it was going on, the guy's like, no, I did it. He's like, I'm not even white, I'm Cuban. And he's like, I didn't tell her to go back where she came from. She told me to go back to where I came from. And he said, all he said was he got mad at her because he had 3 items and she had more. And he said, look at the sign. He's like, you got more. And that's when she lost her shit and started yelling at him. And he said, I was wrong. He's like, I called her a selfish bitch. And he's like, I shouldn't have. And he's like, but I'm not white, I'm Cuban. And he's like, and I'm a Democrat. And I'm like, and of course, this lady's a Democrat too. So this comes out, and then she comes out and she like does another video. She's like, oh, it was a heated moment and I misunderstood him. And she's like backpedaling everything she said. But up until this guy came out, everyone's like, that's so horrible, that's Trump's fault, oh, Trump, blah blah blah. And then you come to find out that she was the problem, and other witnesses were coming out and they're like, yeah, she lost her crap. And there was 2 or 3 people that have came out of a handful of people that witnessed it, that were around when it happened, and they were all, and they said that she was the one who told him to go back to where he came from. But it's like, if he would have never came out, everyone would be like, oh, that's so bad, jumping on Trump's thing. But it's just like, that's out there, that's the big news story right now, and so everyone takes that to their thing. Like, everybody's telling you to go back to where you came from, this and that. And it's just like, that's the thing, like, so much stuff comes out and no one waits for the whole story. It's like, you hear a little bit and you're like, oh, that's so horrible. It's like, you can't go with that, you got to be with the person that was in the wrong. And it's like, why don't we wait till the facts? Isn't that the whole point of like how it's supposed to work? Like, you're innocent until proven guilty. Like, we've lost that. That's been gone. As soon as Trump won, that's went out the window. Like, that does not exist anymore.
But the problem is, he's kind of part of the reason that's the case. That's why he drives me nuts. Honestly, it's not even his policies. It's just like, he's so divisive. Like, as a leader, your goal should be to bring the people you're leading together. And like,
but they're not. No one's given him the chance to. From day one, it's been, don't get me wrong, he does not help himself a lot, but sometimes they make it a lot worse than it really is. Because truthfully, I don't really care if people think it sounds bad. If you listen to his whole thing that he said about those girls, or the 4 congresswomen that this whole thing is coming from right now, if you listen to that whole thing, in my opinion, the most racist part is when he automatically assumed that they were all from different countries. Because especially since 3 of the 4 are American born.
Yeah, that just really shows his ignorance personally.
Yeah, so by telling them to go back to where they came from and work there, because that's the thing, I don't even think that's the racist part. Like, obviously, if you read it, like, you see the headline, it's always, he told them to go back to where they came from. It's like, that's horrible. Read the whole thing. Go back to the country you came from, work there, work your ideas out there, and when you fix those bad areas, then come back and implement it here. That's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad, because he's not like just saying, get out, go back. Because that's how it's all making it sound. He's trying to make it, at least, and I don't think he's smart enough to do that on purpose. Like, I think he got lucky, and like, when he swung for the fences, I think he actually hit it right for once. Because if he would have just said, like, I could see Trump just saying, go back to where you came from, and then like a little wheel turning, or someone tweeted him to like finish it with this. So it's like, but like I said, I don't think that's the racist part of it. I think him assuming those 4 are, I think that's definitely racist. But the rest of what he said, and like, everyone's making that so bad, but it's like, if you read it, like he's telling them, it's like, don't get me wrong, most of their ideas I think are shit. So it's like, I can understand you saying, go work it out, because truthfully, I don't even know where the 3 that were American born, where you would think they were from. But the ones from Somalia,
yeah,
and that's like a horrible country. So it's like, yeah, you're telling her to go back there to fix that and get that. If you can get that working, then obviously your stuff is going to work here. So I
But
know
she's an
everyone
American citizen.
she is, but I mean, she came from Somalia.
Yeah, to make a better life for herself, what she's done.
And
And
like she's the most one of the most anti-Semitic people out there. And that's the thing. Like when Trump's made comments about that, they're like, I've read articles where they're like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like she makes anti-Semitic remarks all the fucking time. Like they were the first. Like it wasn't maybe a month, 2 months ago where they were actually voting on a whatever the thing is for her anti-Semitic remarks, and like she came out and apologized to a point, but then the next day she went out and made another anti-Semitic remark. So it's like,
yeah, I think you got
yeah,
like
she's still extremely racist. It's like, and she's not, and they have proof where her and one of the other girls have told people in the past to go back to where they came from. So it's like you've said it to other people too. So it's like, you know, if you do, that's the thing that gets me. If you're doing it, don't bitch when someone does it to you.
yeah. And I don't think like I'm not here saying like there's no like the people on the Democratic side don't have their fucked up things and they don't do things that are screwed up. I'm not that guy. But for Trump, he doesn't help himself because he tweets all over the place. Like he puts it out there constantly, so it's like you can't help but see it. He wants himself seen.
He does, and I mean, and like this whole the Mueller report, it's like just let it be over. I'm so tired of hearing about it, and it's like the Democrats were hoping for a win the other day, and I think they bombed badly, and for a lot of people think that they did something great. I don't know what, but when it was over and you have a bunch of them that are like trying to make it sound better or saying how like, you know, hoped it worked and this and that. Like they were saying stuff where it just made it sound like they knew that it didn't do what they needed it to do. And it's just like, I don't know. The whole Mueller report, it's like we wasted so much money with it in the first place, and now we're wasting even more money with it because all he did was like reiterate all the crap that he wrote. So it's like we wasted all that time and all that money for him to go over exactly what he's already said. Like he didn't change anything or elaborate on anything, so it was totally pointless.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for the Mueller report to be over just because I think it did prove that Trump was dirty, but whatever, like it is what it is. Like it's over. Like nothing's gonna happen from it. So
And
like, in my opinion, like as somebody who wants Trump out, like not like you should be looking for. Okay, it didn't go like, you know, the Attorney General, in my opinion, failed. And
how did he fail?
because I think he should have brought charges, but
That wasn't his job.
it wasn't Mueller's job. It wasn't Mueller's job.
Huh?
It wasn't Mueller's job.
Yes, no, it was Mueller's job.
No, Mueller's job was to put the case together, which I think he put.
No. Hold on. His job was to put the case together and suggest charges.
Yeah, and he failed there. He didn't suggest charges, but then he also said,
that's his fault.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. Like we're agreeing. Like maybe we're approaching it differently, but we're agreeing. Like I just at this point I'm like, you have another election coming up. I think you have some actually decent candidates. Like I know a lot of people don't like Pete. I can't remember the guy's last name because he's gay, but actually I listen to what he says and it makes some sense. Like to me, your focus should be getting Trump out of the White House.
And I don't think they're going.
They're handling it completely the wrong way.
Yeah, because it's like I understood, like I agreed to a point. Like you had to go to a certain point of crazy to kind of go with Trump, but you couldn't go over Trump crazy. And I think they're all going over Trump crazy, in my opinion. Because their big thing is, if you look at it, the main thing they all got in common is everything for free. And it's like, how are we going to do that? They don't have. I don't think they have a good enough answer how you're going to do everything for free.
I don't think everything needs to be for free.
People that are going to hear free, and it's like, oh my god, I'm going to get this free.
I don't think everything is for free. Like if we had universal health care, like this is proven out in other countries. Like it is significantly cheaper for other countries. And I think it's Thailand, and I'll check this before anyone goes. That's the wrong country. Thailand.
I mean, just saying Thailand. That's kind of.
Yeah, it could be wrong, but it's one of those countries. Anyways, they have universal health care. Like they pay something like 3% of their gross domestic products for healthcare for everybody. Everybody's covered. Everyone's taken care of. They get sick, you know. And and I was actually, and another thing, like I was listening to this podcast over in Britain. In Britain, they don't like just hand out meds left and right. Like, you actually have to need that shit for them to get handed out, so they're not spending as much money on that. But anyways, back to Thailand, and I know it's probably wrong, and I'll look it up and I'll fix this. So, just go ahead and tell me if you Google it and find the right answer. People, instead of just calling me a fucking idiot. But anyways, they spend 3% or something like that of their gross domestic product on their healthcare for everyone. We pay something like 37% of our complete budget is on healthcare that is completely broken. Like, to me, there's only two things that I think should be free. I think healthcare should be free. It should be universal healthcare. It will be expensive. But it won't be as expensive as what it is right now. If we do it right, it'll be cheaper. And most other countries have recognized that, who have universal healthcare. And education, and I think education should be free for this reason. I don't think you should look at education as it. Okay, we're gonna lose. It's like, to me, like, education is like when Walmart sells CDs for $10, right? It's a lost profit. You're giving the education free because at the end of the day, like, the same reason Walmart gives those CDs away for $10 instead of like 20, like FYE, because they know you're gonna come to that store and you're gonna be more valuable to them buying a bunch of other shit. So they're going to make that money up tenfold in other places. And we need to see this education as a very similar way. But we also need to be promoting more people to go to, like, trade schools. Like,
yeah,
I just watched this whole documentary. It was like 6 months ago. And I know I say that a lot, but I love documentaries. And I'm not saying they're all 100% right. But the ideals, like this one country, it might even be Canada. No, it's not Canada. Maybe it's like Sweden or something, Switzerland. Anyways, what they do is, like, you basically decide when you're in high school, you can either decide you're going to go to the college route or the trade school route. And if you go the trade school route, you actually take trade school classes while you're in high school. So, like, you're learning to, like, say, work on farm equipment. Mm-hmm. And so when you graduate, guess what? Now you're going to, like, a 2-year apprenticeship, a paid apprenticeship. Like, I just think you don't approach it like, oh, everyone goes to college free. You have to we need to make, like, jobs like fixing cars relevant again. Like, people, it's okay to fix cars. It's okay to be a diesel mechanic. It's okay to have a tech trade school. It's okay to be a construction worker. We need those people. And those people can make really good money. And we need to stop, like, selling this idea of, like, the only way to have a successful life is if you've got a 4-year college degree in business or something, and if you don't have that, then you're a failure. That's, like, the first step.
Yeah, and a lot of problem with that too is a lot of people expect they think, especially if they get like a 4-year college degree, they think they're, like, entitled to some high paying job that they don't have to do anything at. Like, no one wants to work hard for their money. Well, like, and that's the crazy thing, because, like you said, like, the trade routes, like, those are jobs that you get paid really good money at. I mean, you got to actually work for it. I mean, you earn the money you get. I mean, diesel mechanics, stuff like that, like, you earn it. But, I mean, they get paid a lot of money. And people don't look at that because it's like, well, he's coming home dirty every day and I could wear a suit. And, it's just like, stuff like that. And it's just like, it's stupid, but it's like,
yeah,
that's what a lot of it is.
And that's,
I mean, it's like everyone expects everything for free. They want everything handed out to them. Like, they think they're entitled to it. And it's like, I understand to a point, like, universal health care. I don't think it's the way to go. I don't. I mean, because here's the big thing about
why should people go broke paying for things like cancer?
And I agree. Like, I don't, like, they got to work on it because prices for stuff has skyrocketed.
And why is it that every other country pays significantly less for every other industrialized country pays significantly less for their medications and to actually take care of their people? These countries that have universal health care, the cost is significantly less than what we're paying. Like, when you make it a for-profit, prices are always just going to go up. And that's where I have an issue.
I completely agree with you. And I think it was going on, like, hospital stuff where prices were crazy. But if you think about it, like, after that Great Affordable Care Act went through, that's when a lot of medicine started getting like ridiculous. Because after that's when you heard about like how that guy bought the AIDS medication and he jacked it up to like $1,000 a pill, and EpiPens. Someone bought the EpiPens thing, that medicine, and then that shit skyrocketed. Like people shouldn't be able to just buy it and put their own price at it. Like it should be set to a certain thing. But back to the universal healthcare part, real quick. My big thing with that is it's going to be government ran. Government gets the final say, and that's the scary part because, say, you're a big guy.
Oh yeah.
Say something's wrong, you have to have a transplant or something like that. That's a lot of money. Government has
They won't do a transplant on me. I get denied automatically because I'm fat.
Yes, exactly. So I mean,
but that's today. That happens today.
No, because I mean, you're gonna
absolutely. Kim's dad, who passed away from liver failure, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They refused, and he was nowhere near my size. He was a big man. They refused to do a transplant on him because of his size. That shit happens today.
All right, I just figured with obviously they're gonna get their money. I didn't really think that was really that big of a problem because I've heard about a couple issues overseas where stuff was going on because there was a big story because I listen to Ben Shapiro a lot and back around Christmas
I don't hate him. He says some common sense things.
Well, I mean, the big thing I like about him is he tells you the facts, but he tells you where you can find the facts. That's what I like to hear because it's like anyone could say whatever they want. I mean, you could go on Yahoo and type in whatever and there you go, because they have someone writing something about that. But it's like with him, it'll be like, when he was complaining, like the whole, the easiest one right off the top of my head, it's the whole arresting the illegals and putting them in the things and separating the parents. Like everyone's having a cow about it. And it's like, well, Obama started it. And he's like, this is where it was because it was a different way, but they got sued. So it's like, here's the date. Here's like the article, here's the lawsuit that happened where it changed it because it used to be they kept them together, but then people were saying that it was a longer time you could keep the adults than the kids. But at that time with them keeping them together, they would keep the kids as long as they kept the adults. And they didn't think that was right. So that's where the lawsuit came. So it's like he's telling you where, he tells you the name of the lawsuit and all that stuff. So it's like when people were complaining about how Trump started this and it's like, no, the facts are out there if you'd actually look at it, but you don't like Trump, so you don't want to give it a shot because Obama was your savior for whatever reason. So that's my main reason why I like him a lot. No. But he was talking back around, I think it was around Christmas time, there was a baby born somewhere overseas, and he had something wrong, and you could have a surgery, and it was like a whatever, I don't remember what the percent shot was, and it wasn't like a 5%, like, but it was less than 50%, and they were like, yeah, we're not doing that.
But they do that here today, those same things.
Like
I'm not being upset with you. It's like this thing where like all this shit that like, and it's not you personally, it's just I've heard that stuff from other people, like that stuff that's happening in our country today, those very same limitations. If you have like a 10% chance of not, say, surviving, say, a transplant or whatever, if it's a special surgery. Hell, most insurance that you pay a lot of money for won't cover, like, a surgery if it's not, like, a proven, like, has worked many times. Like, so if there's, like, some new thing that people really are comfortable think's going to work, a lot of insurance won't even cover it because it's new. It's like you're fucked out of the box because it's new. So like the same, all those problems are across the board. And I apologize. I completely talked over you, got frustrated. I apologize for that.
No, that's fine. That's why I wanted to bring it up because like I don't know as much about universal healthcare that I need to. It's just like every time I've started to look into it, I just get like I'm just done with it. So I'm just like I don't know. So it's like I got my idea behind it, which I agree, probably not 100% right. Which I mean, you just told me basically it's not. So it's just, that's the one good thing about bringing it up. It's like I might sound like an idiot, but at least like someone's telling me something about it where I could give me a reason to look more into it.
That's all I ever wanted. Not even just you, just everyone. I want us all to have those conversations because I know that I'm an idiot on shit, a lot of stuff, but I have an opinion. So please explain to me, like the world, explain to me why I'm wrong or why I'm not seeing it like through a clear vision. And that's the whole like topic, like idea how this conversation started is like we all need to be willing to be willing to be wrong, accept that it's okay to be wrong, and you don't have to completely. And being wrong doesn't mean I actually have to come over to your side and 100% agree with your process, but I can agree that maybe there's a better middle ground that I haven't been exposed to because I wasn't right, I was wrong, I didn't I wasn't looking at all the facts. And if we could do that, and if I could do that just with one conversation at a time, my life will be like successful because that's all I want is to have conversations in life. But yeah, I'm gonna find that documentary. Like Canada, a lot of their problem is like it's great. You go, you get taken care of. The doctors get paid every 2 weeks. Like they don't have to wait for like here where they have to wait for insurance to pay them. Like the payments come every couple of weeks. It's consistent. The issues they do have issues with because they have like when everyone could get health care. Mm-hmm. Some people are going to wait, so you do have to prioritize. And so what they're working on now is the queues and how to like make that faster and make it, no system's 100% perfect. I just don't think myself, you, your family, my family, any family, even people I can't stand, should go broke because dad got cancer or, go broke because, I got in a car wreck and, I broke my legs and that, had to have shit plates installed, and so now I'm $500,000 in debt for something that maybe was basically out of my control. If I got T-boned driving to work, that's my whole theory. I don't think people's families should be completely like put to ruins, or like you shouldn't have to like if you have diabetes, you shouldn't have to ration your medication because it's so goddamn expensive. And here's what's messed up, and I just kind of maybe want to close on this because my wife's telling me it's dinner time. You look at the AIDS medication that we talked about, right? That guy racked that shit up. You look at diabetes medication, right? A lot of these medications, here's what kills me, and I just found this out maybe 3 weeks ago. And I will verify it. I'm not speaking gospel. I never want anyone to think I'm speaking gospel. I find out stuff like everyone else does. I kind of read about it here and there and form my opinions. A lot of these medications, the R&D, they were created by the U.S. government, and then these drug companies can patent it after we've done all the work. So they use taxpayer money to run the R&D, right? Yeah. To find these awesome medications. And then like one of these big Pfizer, for instance, could come or the guy with the AIDS thing, right? He could come and patent that now and set whatever price he wants. So he has zero investment essentially at actually creating it, right? The years we've taken to the R&D that the taxpayers paid for. But somehow now the taxpayer funded medication that was created with taxpayer funds, some business has the right to now put a patent on it. And I don't know exactly how it works, but they have the right to put a patent on it for like 20 years and skyrocket the price. Does that not seem like dirty pool to you?
Oh, it's definitely dirty. I agree. Like that's one of the things that needs to be changed somehow. I don't know how you would do it, but you need to figure out a way to do that, because that's just ridiculous. Because like I said, like the EpiPen, I know a guy at work, he has to have one, and they're only good for whatever 6 months or something, whatever the expiration date on it is. So it's like you're hoping you don't use it, and then if you don't use it, you just wasted all that money and you have to go buy a new set. It's crazy.
Oh, I feel you. All right, man, I'm going to end it on that so I can go eat my dinner. I do want to let you know, I hope everything goes cool Monday. Let me know, when that all goes down.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a text to let you know.
Tell Miranda I'm really excited for you guys.
All right.
Anything else you want to hit before we go?
I want to say I think there was, but I can't think of it right now.
All right. Well, I want to let everyone know, watch my YouTube channel. I'm doing a little 60-day thing. It's actually been a lot of fun for me. Just kind of being open and honest and trying to cover as much as I can about my weight issues and how I'm trying to get down to lose some weight. I got a long way to go, but I'd like to lose a chunk before I go down out to Jersey for the Jets-Browns game. So watch that, like that. It's been real fun. Some people are really interacting with that, and I'm hearing from them. They're asking good questions. One question someone asked me is how it affected my sex life. Not going to get into that here, but we're definitely going to get into that in the next episode of the show, because I want to be open and honest on that and kind of be a little bit like I guess kind of like I am here. I don't fear like people laughing at me. It helps me stay on track if I have those interactions and I have someone to kind of hold me accountable. So watch that. Outside of that, Kevin, not sure when you're going to be able to do this again, but hopefully it's not forever.
Yeah, same here.
Get your kid, get him to sleep in at nights, and we'll get back to it. I was glad we got on tonight, man. Good conversation. Everyone else, have some fucking conversations like Kevin and I just did. We don't agree, but we found some middle grounds and some understandings. That's what we need to do. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
All right, take it easy.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. See you next time.
All right, later.
Later on, buddy.